Good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful time. So, let's talk about what happened in the last lolcow episode. If you didn't know, or I guess if you haven't really been paying attention, but I'm gonna assume the people who watch my video do pay attention to this kind of stuff. The lolcowlive had their camping saga. Great time, beautiful time, yada yada yada. In the midst of that, Wings had like some type of gallbladder attack, which isn't something to joke about. I met people who been through something like that, and nearly died. But so I felt bad for him. Come Monday morning, out of the blue, Wingstars made a live stream, right? So it was already late into the day, and I was just very tired. Right, it was like 1 o'clock. I woke up early for some weird reason, and I watched it throughout that early in the morning. I was like, okay, not that bad. He talked about the stuff. I'm here thinking like it's not a big deal. So, I go through my day and I see on X that the lolcowlive X account made a tweet. F wings, and I'm looking at that like, okay, what the heck is going on? And so later on Tuesday, this is probably being uploaded Thursday. It's just been kind of sick today, Wednesday. So when the live stream happened on Tuesday, it was like 8 o'clock, and I was kind of like, that late, I'll watch it. Right? I'll enjoy it. So come in, and Keem is mad as heck about against Wings about the whole thing about releasing information. He should have done the live stream on the lolcowlive channel and everything. And I'm here like, is it that really big of a deal? It kind of dawned on me. Well, it didn't dawn on me, but it was just kind of like, it's not that big of a deal, Keem. He messed up. Let him, like, just tell him he messed up, and it's like, hey, don't do this again. Well, then he waited till 9 o'clock to Boogie to come in, so then he could bring in Wings. And then after that, all hell broke loose. And it was like a good 30-minute shouting match between them, cursing at each other. You saw Wings for a little bit actually being more lively and more human in that moment of anger. But in the midst of all of that, like, even if you can say Boogie is right, what I'm gonna probably say sort of, his yelling does not help. Like, honestly, like, if they were mad, which they were probably, I would have just handled this very different. I would have just like, hey, at 9 o'clock, we're gonna bring Boogie. Let's talk this out. Like, I'm mad, but let's just be civil, rather than doing a whole sounding match of who messed up the most, who's gaslighting who. It kind of became a full-on like grown child just throwing a tantrum. Wing trying to defend himself, Boogie being a lapdog and just like agreeing whatever and just yelling, which probably didn't help. Honestly, if I would have came, I would have just completely muted Boogie. Right? I would have like, hey Boogie, just be on the side, just keep your mouth shut. I know you're mad. We'll wait till later on and let me talk to Wing. This whole thing could have handled so much differently. And a lot of people were saying that this has to be staged. A part of me is like, I kind of agree with that notion where I think some of it is staged or some of it is overemphasized. And it just went on. Like, I guess Wings got fired, which I'm like, that's not gonna last long because without Wings, the show would not last. Because Keem is supposed to go drama alert right or probably around like late October, early November. He said fall, so around that time. Do you guys really honestly think that like the lolcowlive show can really function without Wings? A part of me is like, Wings may be boring, but he's a good counter to both Boogie and Keem for different reasons. And I think they kind of realized that, like, oh, I think we made a mistake. And then after that, then obviously Wings got back onto the show. Things got clear up. Base Kelly. Kelly is the the unspoken hero of lolcowlive. And to me, it's just like, this all could have been handled so much differently. The whole yelling and screaming, it could have been handled so much better than what it was. Like, yeah, I know Keem was acting like a child. It's like, oh, you gave out this information and then breaking banquet. It's like, who gives a crap? Who genuinely cares, dude? It's like, why didn't you just tell Wings, like, hey, Wings, if you're not gonna stream tonight, just please hold on. Like, I know you're sick. I know you're gonna wake up in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night. Can you do me this one big favor and just do your best to not talk about it? Just be as like vague as possible till we can do our show later tonight or later on the day. That's what I would have told him, right? Or if he would have still done what he did, I would have been like, okay, I'm mad at you, but let's just get that over real fast and just like talk about why I'm mad, and then just move on and then get into more information rather than just doing this shouting match. And I know a lot of the time the show is meant to dramatize things, but it's like it kind of gets really annoying, right? And also, like, there were people defending Wings. There were some people defending Keem and Boogie Action. It's like, and the whole thing getting fired. It's like, you know, to give, I guess, a nuanced opinion, or not nuanced, but what's been, said before. Um, let's not forget that Boogie literally lied about cancer. Like, if we're going off of who did the worst, it's like Boogie still did a lot more worse things than Wings in this last couple months alone. Like, the man lied about cancer. Let's not forget about that, right? I think that's been memory hold to death, right? And then like I feel like sometimes Wings gets a lot of credit, and I will criticize him. His mentality, though, I do find relatable. Though I'm kind of past that point. He is a little boring, but when he is energetic, he is good. And I think that he just needs to break out of his mindset shell and needs to stop taking just the amount of drugs he was doing. He admitted that he was willing to be in the trenches with Boogie, right? And I think that shows that I think there's at least some glimmer of hope, right? But it's like kind of also messed up guys that like we're giving more crap to Wings than like, are we still gonna forget that Boogie lied about cancer, and then he scammed the charity, and then he demanded his money? Like, there's like, let's not forget about that. I feel like there's a bit of a hypocrisy. And then like with Keem has a track history, right? Like, let's not also forget about that, and how he had no firing Boogie, but then brought him back. It was just all just nonsense. I just felt that in the end, this whole thing could have been done a lot better. But at least everything back to normal. Was it surprisingly took a lot shorter time than it did with Boogie. Right, but overall, I liked it. I actually kind of did enjoy it. I just didn't like the screaming, and a lot of the times when I was rewatching it, I just skipped the whole screaming match because I felt like it just didn't go anywhere, and they just should have not just yell, and then they just should have just been calm about everything. I know Keem's whole thing is about drama and making content out of it, but it's like, okay, this is a little excessive. Like, come on. That's really my whole gist on the thing. You know, I hope Wings get better. Boogie has, I think Boogie should have a muzzle most of the time. And Keem, okay, man, do your gnome stuff. But until then, y'all, have a good one.